In a world filled with chaos, noise, and endless battles of ego, there stands one name that still whispers peace, Jesus Christ. His message is not limited to religion. It is the language of the soul. It is the call of love that crosses every border, every language, and every race. When Jesus walked on this earth, he didn't wear a crown of gold. He wore the crown of thorns, the symbol of suffering and sacrifice. He didn't come to rule the world with swords and soldiers. He came to heal it with words and compassion. He taught people that greatness is not in power, but in humility. He showed that true strength is not in revenge, but in forgiveness. And above all, he reminded us that every human being, no matter how broken or lost, is loved by God. Jesus said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Simple words, yet the hardest to follow. Because loving someone who loves you is easy. But loving those who hurt you, hate you, or betray you, that is divine love. He didn't build walls. He built bridges, between hearts, between souls, between heaven and earth. He taught us to care for the poor, feed the hungry, and heal the wounded. He sat with sinners, not because he was one of them, but because he wanted them to know, even in your sin, you are still loved. When people threw stones at the woman who sinned, Jesus stood before her and said, "Let the one who has never sinned cast the first stone." And the stones fell from their hands. Because for the first time, they saw the reflection of their own sins in her eyes. That is what Jesus does. He doesn't condemn, he transforms. He doesn't break hearts, he rebuilds them. He doesn't push you away for your mistakes, he holds you closer because of them. He looked at the thief on the cross and said, "Today, you will be with me in paradise." Even in his final moments of pain, Jesus gave forgiveness. Even while dying, he was giving life. Jesus taught us to look beyond the surface. The beggar on the street, the lonely child, the broken soul. They are not strangers, they are reflections of God waiting to be loved. He said, "Whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me." That means feeding one hungry person is serving Christ himself. It means forgiving one person is healing your own soul. It means spreading love is spreading the presence of God on earth. But humanity has forgotten. We fight over religion when Jesus taught unity. We judge others when he taught compassion. We chase wealth when he taught simplicity. We build empires when he built humanity. Yet his voice still calls, softly, quietly. From the cross, from the broken hearts, from the silence within. He says, "Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest." In a generation where people seek fame, Jesus teaches humility. In a world that runs behind followers, he calls us to become leaders in love. In times of hate and anger, he asks us to be lights of peace. He walked barefoot on dusty roads, but his steps left golden footprints in human history. He spoke truth when lies were convenient. He gave life when death seemed final. And he gave hope, the kind of hope that never dies. His life was not about comfort. It was about purpose. He faced rejection, betrayal, and pain. But he never stopped loving. And that's the message the world needs today. To love even when it hurts. To forgive even when you don't get an apology. To believe even when life breaks you. Because Jesus believed in us, even when we didn't believe in him. His resurrection wasn't just about rising from the dead. It was about reminding us that love, truth, and goodness can never be buried. Darkness can hide them for a while,